back to another AR12 car vlog. 2 weeks ago, here on the channel, I unveiled my 2020 Subaru STI. You guys gave that video tons of love and support, so thank you for all of the comments, the likes, the new subscribers. Hi, welcome. However, a bunch of you guys left comments like this, like this, like this, and like this. However, I bet that nobody thought that I would be making this video so soon. So here is how I broke my 2020 Subaru STI in 2 weeks. Okay, so I didn't exactly blow up my Subaru STI, but I did put a massive hole in the floor. I think. If you crouch down and look underneath the car, you'll actually notice the floor is hanging down. I actually zip tied it just so it wasn't scraping along the ground the entire way, but you can actually hear it in my reveal video. And that leaves us where we are today, where I purchased this PBW Performance skid plate for the Subaru STI. And if you were wondering, no, I have no idea how to install one of these things, but I hope I can figure it out. Before we do that though, let me get the car onto the race ramps and I can show you the floor properly. These race ramps are super cool, and I'm not even joking, they actually came with my GT350 that I bought last year. The guy who owned that car did his own oil changes, bought these race ramps to make life even easier for him, but when he sold the car, he was like, I don't need these anymore. And when I purchased it, he asked me, he was like, do you want these? I don't need them. And I was like, yeah, they might come in handy at some point. The only downside I found with them is when you're trying to get up on them by yourself, it's a little bit sketchy if you aren't used to it. Lesson number 1 learned, never try to do that by yourself because it's so stressful trying to stop the car right at the top of the race ramp, because you can totally just drive off the other end and that would be really expensive. So in the future, 2 people for this, okay? So this will give you a way better idea of what I mean when I say the floor basically came off. This is the whole underside of the engine, this plastic stuff, and it's all coming off right now. So all of this is not only gonna be replaced, but it's also gonna be upgraded. When I said I was upgrading this, I mean we were properly gonna upgrade this. This is not plastic, this is a metal skid plate, which is 1,000 times better. Living up here in Canada, when we have snow and ice for 6 months out of the year, a lot of those ice blocks can actually get pretty big in size, and basically this is going to help cover and protect the underside of the engine, which is a good thing. Literally the only downside of this upgrade is the guys who make it, TBW, don't actually give you any instructions for how to install it, so I'm really jumping into the deep end here. One of these should also be filled up with a bunch of screws. I found the screws! After I was hit in the face with some screws, it was time to disassemble the STI and get this old floor out of there. It was just hanging on with some pop clips, which popped out pretty easily. Got it! Woo! It's coming off! Let's go! I feel like I should also make it clear, I don't actually know how the floor broke on the Subaru STI, but I have a feeling it was broken before I actually bought the car, and I didn't notice it right away. It was only when I got home, drove up the drive, and looked at the car properly, I noticed that the floor was hanging lower than it should have been, and then I noticed that massive hole in there. It's totally possible that the floor was hanging lower than it should have been for my drive home, and throughout my drive home, I might have been chipping it along bits and bobs in the road, and over time, it created this really big hole. Regardless though, it's a worthwhile upgrade that I'm super happy we're actually doing. I got this side off completely now. It's just being held on by the back. There's 1, 2, and then there's one on this side holding it up still. That's sweet. This is actually gonna take less time than I thought. Please don't fall on me. I got it! Okay, I think now you can get an appreciation for how big the hole in my floor was. That's actually bigger than my hand. That's insane. I honestly have no idea how this even happened. I think this is gonna go... yeah, sort of, kind of like that. Probably the other way. Yeah, definitely the other way around. I mean, while there's no floor in the car, you can actually get a really good idea of what's underneath the engine. So you can see the oil filter there. That's that big blue thing, the oil pan, and some other things. We might do some stuff in there at some point in the future. Anyways, though, luckily for me, I actually found some instructions online to install the skid plate. So use the provided metal M6 U-nuts and slide them over the holes. Is this how you install the skid plate or something else? I have no idea what that means, but I'm gonna try. Bro, Why do you call this a speed nut? It's a U-clip. One thing that was really cool about this install is all of the holes were there. I didn't have to drill anything in the bumper. And then apparently I take part number 1 of the skid plate and I... Oh, that's so sick. Apparently, after I've done that bit, then I take the really big thing and this goes in. Okay. What's really cool about this, though, is that this door here, you can see there's 2 bolts that you can undo from the other side. This is how you change the oil filter. And then this one is how you drain the engine oil, I think. I think that's the correct placing, but that would make sense. How is this gonna go there and just, like, be held? Because it's just gonna fall. Oh, I need some screws. I'm in a compromised position. I'm just gonna put a screw in before this thing falls on me, for God's sake. I think this has gotta be one of the best camera angles I have ever used in one of my videos. That's tight enough for now. I can tighten everything at the end. Apparently, the final step of this is to get these 2 things on. However, they go kind of like way up there. And I have to unscrew something in there. I have no idea if I've done any of this correctly. Why is that so tight? Oh my God, that's the tightest bolt in the actual history of humans. Okay, I'm gonna film this on my phone because this is actually pretty weird. This is actually my view of the whole skid plate and everything. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to undo that all the way up there. That was the bolt that was super, super tight. And then those wing things go on there and then screw into there to make it extra strong. I've basically got to undo this guy. Okay, that was literally easy. And then I take my little wing dude and I slide him right the way up. After that, there's 2 more bolts that just hold this thing in. And then I think I tighten everything up after that. I cannot believe I've actually done this without any assistance and no complaining. Update from my perspective again. Here's what I've done. So that's now screwed in all the way up there. And this is like a wall against the engine. That's so sick. So nothing can do damage up there. That's so cool. All right, time for the other side. Oh, this side's got miles more room. Just keep screwing, screwing, screwing. Just keep screwing. Got it. Update time. This is what the underside of the car looks like now. I'm only missing 2 bolts, just one on this side and one over here. And then we'll be done. I just have to tighten everything up. Honestly, that really wasn't too difficult. It took me like an hour and a half. I had no idea what I was doing, but once I figured it out, it was literally screwing in maybe like 10 bolts, that's it. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is for some reason, I still have 2 of these like little push clips left over, and I have no idea where they actually go. So I guess I'll keep these for now and hope it doesn't fall off. Anyways, now that we've got that installed, why don't we give it a little drive to make sure it's still all good, and I can tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing to this. So it's been a couple of days since we installed the skid plate, and I'm happy to report that it hasn't actually fallen off just yet. I still do want to go look underneath the car and just make sure all of the bolts and stuff are still tight, but I can't imagine anything's actually come loose. I think this has actually been a really, really good install. The best news of all, though, is the day you watch this, I should actually be getting my brand new exhaust for the STI, which I'm super, super excited about. I'm gonna try to install it myself. I've never installed an exhaust before, but all of the stuff we've done recently has gone pretty well, so I might as well give it a go. Now that we've got the exhaust ordered and stuff, though, we do need to look to the future, and although it's a lovely sunny day out here today, it's gonna be getting very, very cold very, very quickly. So we do need to look to the future and think about some winter tires and rims for this Subaru. So if you guys have any suggestions, if you've seen any Subaru STIs with cool rims, feel free to send me a photo either on my Discord server or on Twitter or Instagram or any of those places, and hopefully we'll find some cool ones and get an order in for those as well. That is not it though. Right now I'm actually looking at some other mods and wondering, ooh, should I go that way with this car? Maybe I should go that way with this car. I don't want to share too many ideas right now, just because I don't know where we're actually going to be going with this build for right now. So stay tuned. I promise you guys I have some really cool plans for this car, and you guys are definitely going to want to see it. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is my skid plate installation. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys soon with some more STI vlogs soon. That sounds a bit strange. I'll see you then. Bye!